Hi, this is Vicki from Grandma B's Junk Journals. Thanks for stopping by my channel. It's been a bit since I have put out a video. I just finished this junk journal. It's a wonder book, and I just thought I would go ahead and do a little flip through and share it with you. Maybe hopefully motivate you to get into your own stash, make some ephemera, or create a journal, or just start some kind of project that's been on your back burner. So anyways, I'm going to share this. It's called This Magic World. I sewed in 3 signatures, and I've got a 2-inch spine covered with some vintage fabric and some lace. This little tassel here that goes with the colors. I put some lace here. It has just an assortment of different lace and tags and papers and all kinds of different things. So I hope you enjoy the flip through, and I hope I can give you some ideas. So the cover is in great shape. I absolutely love the picture here. It's adorable, and if you have seen any of my videos, I love using children in my books and my projects, along with florals and along with animals, lots of vintage. Those are my very favorite things to craft with. So this is the inside front cover. Look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's in such good shape. It's just great. The only thing with this, I did use all of the children's book pages in it, but it isn't put together because it's an older book. It's put together differently, so sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge to get the books back in the right order. So these pages are probably not in the same order, the right order as the original book, but I did use all of the pages. I did have to use some washi tape, some hinges to get the pages together. The pictures itself are absolutely gorgeous. The colors are beautiful, but the pages are a little fragile because they are old. This is a 1959 book. Now, it is in really good shape, but you know, the pages are old, so you need to be very gentle. So I have filled it with lots of vintage pages, ephemera. I was really trying to stay true to vintage, everything that I possibly could. So as you'll see as I flip through, probably 95% of everything in here is at least 50 years old. I did a couple of the little animals you'll see I clipped in there just because I wanted to add them. But there's a large assortment of different kinds of papers. There's vellum, there's stationery. I was a teacher, and I probably had this paper 25 years ago in a stash that was old then. Music sheet is 1955. This is from a children's book. This is from an old Sears and Roebuck catalog. I love the images here, so cute. I was able to put several throughout the book. They're just my favorite. Just some craft paper. This is from the book here, and the colors are just, look at that, they're just beautiful. I love it. I did put some washi tape here. Like I said, I did sew the signatures in. So this is some homemade paper here. This is just a little embellishment here. I tried to stick with the animals, insects, as the pictures are. And I did put glue some papers here and there if there was a little tear on a page. Added some different washi tapes just for some interest. I left lots of blank spots for photos or for journaling. I put lots of different laces and fabrics for tabs. Here's the other side of that. I love those little girls. And then here we are into the second signature. The birds are beautiful. Some lace to trim it. Look at those colors, aren't they beautiful? Now this was, this is a piece of an antique piano roll. And I'm not thinking of what it is, what it's called, but it's for the old pianos. And so I cut it down to fit a page size, and then I collaged on a plain card here, and then I just added a vintage card here of a child, tucked that in. I did a little collage up here on a tag, and then flip it here, and I did a little collage cluster here that I just glued on, and then there's lots of space here for journaling. I just thought that that all went really well with the pages of the book. This is a page from a different vintage book, but I die cut that out, and then this is for journaling or for a photo, and then I've just tucked that into an envelope. It's an envelope on this side, and it's a card here. I love to use cards in my journals, and you open it up and you have all of this space here. You could put a nice photo or journaling, but that's always a great thing to use in your journals are cards, greeting cards, homemade cards. So this is just a page from a wildlife book, and this is a stationery page and some homemade paper here, and a page from a children's book. And then this is another of the old piano book, or I'm sorry, the piano paper. And I wish I could think of what that was called, but you know what I'm talking about. You'll see the holes here. And then I just put a music sheet on the back. And then I made a little collage here in the corner, a little wilderness wildlife collage here. And then I clipped this big butterfly. It is blank on the back side for journaling, but this is a full page of butterflies, so I just thought that was really pretty to add that there for a journaling spot. And the same with this. These are just two pieces of ephemera, wildlife ephemera, that I've clipped in that you can move around into the book, and a blank sheet here for journaling or photos. And then, so this was a book page in a bird book, and I just kind of did a little collage on this side. On the top it said identifying mammal tracks, but the whole page was text. So I just thought I would add some little collage here just to jazz it up a little bit, cover some of that text up, give you a journaling spot there. And of course, here's a little girl and some more children with bunnies, and so that kind of plays on to that. Beautiful images, a little clip of some vintage trimming, or it's not really lace, I would just say trim, fabric trim of some kind. Beautiful page here. And then this is another card that I made. I die cut it out. I made it into a pocket. And so this is from a vintage book. You have a pocket here, a little collage. I made a little card here. The image is from a children's book, and you can journal on the back side, and then you can journal or photo there, so that's movable. And I just clipped it onto the page. Of course, this is all vintage, the lace and the trim. Look at that, beautiful pictures and colors. And this is just a card that I've used some of that trim, and then you have a blank spot here. This is some of my hand-dyed paper. And then I just put, this was a piece of stationery that I just put on top of this old school page. This was an early 1900s school page from a school book. So I just added that so you could have some journaling spots there, and added some vintage paper here for journaling. And this is from a bird book. And another catalog page here with a fabric tag. This is just a journaling card here that I have clipped on with a little charm there. And then this is one of my collage cards. So I have collaged, I did this collage, and then the back side is blank for journaling or photo. And I put on there, hold on tight to your dreams. And let's see, I made a little pocket here from a vintage playing card, and I put this little squirrel and made a little tag there for writing or photo, and then I just kind of stuck him back in there. I thought that was really cute. Kind of did a little collage on this page. The other half, or the other piece of that card, is up here in the corner. I did some stamping, a little bit of chalk coloring here, just to give it a little bit of interest. And this, I did a collage here. And here is another squirrel pocket. I've added some, just did a little bit of color with some chalks. I made a tag here. Put it right in that cute little pocket. Okay, so cute. Love these images. Very adorable. And then let's see, I made a little pocket. I sewed a piece of fabric, and I made this little, you could use it as a bookmark or a tag. You can write on here. You could put a picture. It is hard. It's the cardboard or the book board, and I decoupaged it. I used some napkins. If you look here, it says mixed bird seed. So that was from an old catalog, and I just decoupaged it on there. This little guy here is from a vintage sewing pattern that I cut out. We've got a little owl here and some napkin of fall leaves and acorns that it's all nicely protected there. And I just thought he was really cute, and the kind of fall colors I thought went really well in this woodsy type journal. So anyways, he's gonna sit right there in that pocket. And I think we're coming to the end. Here's another journaling card I made. I die cut that out. Used a page from a vintage bird book and then left that for journaling. And then I think we're at the end. This is, I think this bingo card was from like the 1940s. And so I just ran it through my die cutting machine into a scallop tag. I made a little collage cluster over here. This little girl came from a vintage sewing pattern. I love to use those. I'm always picking those vintage patterns up at thrift stores, antique stores, thrift shops, yard sales, anywhere that I can go that I know they have used thrifting kind of things. I always look for those patterns, and so I've got quite a big stash and I love to use them. And then I just put a fabric tab up there with a button and made a little pocket here. The pocket is made from, this was an invitation. It's I don't know that it's vintage. I'm going to guess it was probably 60s or 70s. Well, that would make it vintage. That would be 50, yeah. So it's old anyways. So I did cover up the little sentiment here, but it gives you a little place to write. And then I covered up the inside information, you know, that you would have like on a invitation card. And I just put a journaling card here, so it could be used for writing. I put a little punch out circle there so that I could tuck that corner in, and it will, hopefully it was like that. Just a minute here. All right, how did I have it there? Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't know how I had it, but that is going to be a little corner tuck. I will fix it. I had it right, so I don't know what I did there. But what that does is it holds that so your the card does not flap up. So lordy be, what did I do? Yeah, I'll have to fix that. So anyways, there you go. That was my flip through. I did put the corner pieces on there. I don't use those often because I really love to trim with lace or fabric, but this, I don't know why. I thought it looked really cute, so I went ahead and used those gold corner pieces. So anyways, I hope you liked this flip through. I hope that there was something in here that maybe will inspire you to create something of your own. I will put my email in the description so that if you are interested in purchasing, we can see if that could, we can make that happen. So thanks for stopping by. If you could like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.